This 24/7. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and X. And for the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. And that's just a sampling. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. For laptops, mobile phones, and tablets, download the Roku app. National Streaming Sports, live and on demand, sports talk for America.
This show is brought to you by BetUS.com. 125% off your first 3 deposits, 30 years experience, secure site, wagering for all sports, including during the games and futures. SeatGeek provides you the best prices on sports and music events, game tickets, and concerts. Use NSS promo code to get $20 off your first ticket. Keep using the NSS promo code when purchasing tickets for great deals in the future. In Fanatics at nessp.info for your favorite teams. Sportswear, click on the link. And while you're there, check out our national streaming sports merchandise.
Oh, absolutely. I was there when the ownership took last July when they took over, and they said it's going to take time, which it does take time. DQ has made a great impression as a head coach. He brought in his own staff. We just clear house. And now if you're a free agent, if you don't play for us, we let you go. You're not here to make money. You're here to produce on the field. And that's what we didn't have under the Snyder era. We're 7-2. The last time we was at is 1996. You know what was special about 1996? That was the last year at RFK Stadium.
Welcome, everyone, to the NFL Download, where we have a watch-along as we keep you up to date with the current games that are going on right now. And, of course, we'll go over the earlier games when we get a chance. I am Mac. You have James J. Train. We've got our special guest in here, a longtime Carolina Panther fan, Sonia Pearson. So we'll definitely of course, we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to get everybody up to date on the scores. Right now, the Cardinals are putting a butt whipping on the Jets. I mean, last time I checked, it was 31-6. There's about 3:14 left in the game. They ran against them. They threw against them. Kyler Murray has a big game, and it seemed, James and Sonia, that the individual players on the Cardinals didn't stop. They would get hit. They would spin off. They would run over the Jets. I mean, they didn't stop running when they got the ball. Some amazing plays by their players and some amazing play by Kyler Murray tonight.
Yeah, I actually predicted Kyler Murray, not necessarily in writing, but Jay Train and I were talking about it on Wednesday. That team has really been unstoppable since Kyler Murray's return this year. And nonetheless, I mean, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, I don't know. I really wasn't sold on it being him, despite him having Devontae Adams up there. But they are literally taking the win out of the Jets, no pun intended. You know, they can't fly, Jets. Jets. It looks more like the Cardinals are the Jets because they are the birds that are taking flight tonight.
Yeah, you look at it, James. Kyle Murray at least tied a record for the most completions in a row. I mean, he's accurate with the ball tonight. He's running when he has to. He threw for, I think, 3 touchdowns and ran for 2. Last year we were saying, hey, he's all done. You know, he got hurt. He's a problem. But it seems that this offensive coordinator has gotten his ear. And, you know, he said, actually, Kyle Murray said, this is kind of boring sometime for me because all we do is hand the ball off. And the offensive coordinator say, hey, listen, you're going to get your chance. Don't worry about it. We're going to call a game play to the team we're playing. And right now, what a game plan they used.
I mean, if the game plan is working, Mac, I mean, why not continue to use it? I mean, I remember the movie, Remember the Titans. He said it's like Novocaine. It make move a little slow, but once it works, I mean, it's always working. I think that Kyler Murray, what his issue was just maybe a level of immaturity. We talked about him not studying, maybe playing PlayStation too often. I think the biggest thing is he's growing up. The talent was always there. Talent was always there. And now you see the maturation process has kicked in, and he's just dicing up, man, whether with his arm or his legs, man. And it's really hard to stop him. And they look like they're rolling in the NFC West right now. So, and that division is pretty tight with San Francisco and Seattle and the Rams coming back up as well. But I like the Cardinals right now where they are.
I do too, and let's not forget their defense. I mean, their defense is aggressive. It was last year. They had an they would get beat, but they would give the other team a game just with their defense. And this year, that's working too. Listen, right now, I like them. I mean, I know they're playing the Jets, and it's a huge win right now. You know, and maybe that's influencing me something else. But I believe the Cardinals are the best team in the West right now. So, I mean, we'll find out as it goes on. So. Anyway, it's supposed to have the
Junior as well, getting a big touchdown. Jay Connor and Kyler himself got a couple, so everybody's getting touchdowns over there.
Yeah, they're just giving them out, Sonia. It's like tickets at an airplane. The Jets are just giving out tickets. Anybody can have one. So I mean, yeah, they look awesome tonight. You know, I think, I mean, like I said, they're kicking their butts all over the field, so it's easy for me to say, hey, that's the best team in the West. But we'll see what happens. Another game still going on. You have the Eagles beating the Cowboys 34-6. Right now, Jalen Hurts has 202 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Barkley with 66 yards. Jalen Hurts ran for 2 touchdowns also. A.J. Brown with a big game. Let's see how the sacks look. Not too bad on the sacks. I mean, they got like 2 or 3 sacks on Dallas. And as far as Dallas goes, let's see what they got here. Cooper Rush, 13 of 23 for 45 yards. I mean, that's rusty, man. I mean, come on. Then they put in Trey Lance, who's 3 for 4 for 17 yards and an interception. All right, Trey, go out there and do your thing. So the Eagles' defense is pretty much shutting down the offense. I mean, does that surprise you with all the injuries they have right now? Dak Prescott probably out for the year. I don't see – I'm trying to see – CeeDee Lamb is playing, but he's only had 21 yards. They just don't look good.
Yeah, 34.
Yeah, I sorry.
No, you're good, Jay. Go ahead.
No, I just don't see any sustained success if you have injuries to your key position players, including Dak Prescott. Obviously, he's likely out for the season with that major hamstring injury. Where the hamstring came off the bone, and he's going to get a second opinion. But, man, it's just – and then, of course, you have to go all the way back, not doing the appropriate things in the offseason to get players that you need to help solidify or sustain success. I mean, you've been 12 and 5 or, you know, whatever these past few seasons, but you can't continue that if you're going to lose players and you don't re-up and get some more players. And it's just tough. And this is a division rival. They're all having success right now because they did what we're talking about. They had Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is just he's the deciding factor right now for their team offensively. And Dallas just, man, it looks all downhill right now for them.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for too many coaches. I don't feel bad for Mike McCarthy, but some things you can't predict or you can't overcome as a coach, right? And as you said, McCarthy was 12-5 for 3 seasons. It's a good record. He made it to the playoffs. Not every team does that, but this year, I mean, what is McCarthy supposed to do if they're not going to have good backups, if they're not going to have a running back, if they're not going to have, linebackers that can start the run, stop the run? I mean, what is he supposed to do but take the personnel he has and coach it, Sonia?
And I really feel that I'm so tired of when a season suffers from injuries, how that suddenly is the coach's fault. I really didn't agree with Coach Allen being fired from the New Orleans Saints last week because they still have a deficit of injuries, even though some people, including some Saints fans, were glad to see him go. And the same situation with McCarthy. I mean, he got them to 12-5, 3 seasons in a row. And it's more like, what have you done for me lately? They forget about the past, playoff potential runs, even though they came up short a couple of times. But tonight's game, 13 points have been scored by Philadelphia off of turnovers on Dallas's part. Dallas has only scored 3 points from a turnover from Philadelphia. That just lets you know at the end of the day, there is some coaching issues. Yes, Dak is out, but Dak was not playing his best. He was there getting ready to get that second opinion before facing surgery for the season to be over for him. But you just have to think about it. It's not just one player that it comes down to. It's a plethora of players. It's the conundrum of everybody. And so with that being said, at some point it does come down to the coach. And Mike McCarthy is not a novice at coaching. He's very seasoned in the game. He's come from championship teams before. So at some point you have to make the rubber meet the road.
Yeah, I guess you do. Again, you brought up the Saints, James' team here, and they won this week. We're going to get to that with a interim coach, and that happened. So maybe I don't think McCarthy's gone until the end of the year, but I think Dallas has a lot of holes. They have a lot of holes that they needed to fill. So I'm going to see the Chargers here, who beat the Tennessee Titans 27-17. Justin Herbert only threw for 164 yards. The running game wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great. Justin Herbert also ran for a touchdown. Hassan Haskins got a touchdown. Kind of looking at the sacks here that happened to Levis. And Levis overall, his stats are pretty good. So you got 1, 3, 5, 6, 7 sacks against Will Levis today. Of course, that means the line isn't blocking. Of course, Levis is not, the best quarterback either. So he might have held on to the ball too long a couple times. But he did. He did. Let's see. He threw 475 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no turnovers. The first time he hasn't thrown an interception. So I guess that's progress. What do you think?
I mean, he's controlling the ball despite being knocked down. So
yeah.
It's progress in one way, but I mean, the biggest thing that they don't have was a W. So I mean, that's what matters. No one's going to remember.
They don't have a solid O-line. They don't have a running back. They got rid of Derrick Henry. They're dealing with an interim, not an interim coach, but a new coach. It's just like they literally went into a rebuild mode, and your quarterback wasn't even ready to even take on that type of power, like to be the only sole person there to hold that organization down.
Yeah. So the Chargers end up at 6-3, which is not a bad record. Tennessee falls to 2-7. Just watching Trey Lance throw a ball way too high for a 5-yard completion outside. So I don't know why anybody has him on their team. I mean, I hate being mean. I really do. But
he was a hot commodity. They said he was a hot commodity. They almost sent him to Carolina.
Yeah, well, good for you. You didn't get him. I tell you so.
Right.
Oh my God. So Sonia brings up Carolina. So I got to face the music, Sonia. I'll say something before you go. Before you go, the Giants just stink. And I'm going to say this tomorrow on the Big Blues Brothers show. I'm not wearing my New York Giants shirt tomorrow. Not my new one. I might wear the old one when they were good. But I mean, I have no more excuses. I have no more reasons. I have no more excuses. I am tired of Daniel Jones not making the throws. I'm tired of the ball calling a game that is not professional standards to me. I just I'm tired. I'm tired, Sonia. So let me have it.
Well, I told you so. And it feels great to sit on a podcast with not just one loser, but two. Because we beat both of you within the last 2 weeks back to back. My team has defeated both of yours. So that's my little spiel. J Train and you, Mac, have been getting hit up with texts from me all day because I could not wait. Could not wait. I don't care if we don't win another game, J Train. I don't care. The point is I could come on this show and be comfortable and speak my truth. And so let me just go ahead.
There are three losers on this show.
It does no.
There are three losers on this show.
Not. We now have one game more wins than we did last season, so we're good with that. Bryce, for the second week, has had no interceptions. He has now a 77.8 passer rating. In the first half alone, for the first time in 38 games, the Panthers went into the half with a rout on the opponent with a 10-0 lead. Graham Gano, former Carolina Panther kicker, missed the PAT in the second quarter to keep them scoreless. The third quarter, things turned around, and even Daniel Jones himself took his own ownership and ran for a 2-yard touchdown. They should have not ever been allowed to come up and tie this game and send it into overtime. But Daniel Jones, somebody must have lit a match under him. He was running, he was throwing, he was protecting, and Mr. What is his name? Travis Jr., whatever his name is, Tracy Jr., from the first quarter, from that third quarter touchdown, ended up being the detriment, turning the ball over, solidifying the win. Eddie P, MVP of this game over in Germany. Shout out to my family over there. Panthers 20, Giants, aka the Tiny, 17.
Now wait a minute. I'm confused. Is your team the Panthers or is it the Lions?
So I'm a Lions fan for enjoyment of the game, enjoyment of the sport, and I've explained that to you guys. But I still, I'm going to relish in this win. I told you even in the point spread. Now we did lose on the point spread. We lost on that because it was 6. But I said the Panthers were going to win the game. So I guess I'm going to take the L because the point spread was not consistent thanks to them allowing you guys to catch up.
Yes, you will take the L. You will take the L.
Who cares? We are now number 3 in the South, not the 4th anymore because we beat the Aints last week. So good for them. They beat the Falcons because if they hadn't, we'd have moved on up to number 2. Okay, because Tampa Bay lost today too. We are ready for it. We ready.
Oh my goodness, the bar is set so low, Sonia. The bar is set so low.
You gotta climb out. You gotta climb out, and as long as you can see the pole that's being extended to you to reach for it, we are. And right now, we're coming up out of that dumpster fire that the NFC South has. We're coming out, and I can't wait. I'm gonna play the clip where you and Kevin were on the show, and just there's no way Carolina's gonna win. Okay, and there's no way the Falcons are gonna lose. Okay, so I'll play that. And for now, and Mac, you'll notice most of this isn't even directed. This is even directed to you, Mac, because you're the host, and I'm just appreciative to be on here. This is directed to J Train and those garbage Saints that finally pulled out a win, and he keeps taking my win from me. Like, you're not doing that, Mac. You're saying, I face the music. You guys won. J Train doesn't even believe that they lost last week. He's delusional because they beat the Falcons today. But nonetheless,
I congratulate you. I congratulated you on the show, and there's evidence.
It was in lower cap. You
are out of control.
Well,
tonight. 2 wins in a row. We only had 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness!
Season last
against two losing teams.
I don't care.
Oh yes, it does.
I don't care if it was the Giants and Saints mascot that went out there and kicked the field goal and we beat them. It's a win.
You play who you play, right? Whoever's on your schedule,
exactly.
So who you play.
Thank you, Mac.
Listen, I'm not going to put her down. Listen, I'll tell you another player I love is Chuba Hubbard. I like him. He's a great running back. He don't stop.
He's a great running back.
He had an awesome game against the Giants. So listen, I'm not just a Giant fan. I'm a football fan.
Thank
and when
you,
I see a football a team that put it together and beat the Giants, and you have a nice running back over there. Bryce Young still needs work, but he looks a lot better than he did. So, I mean, listen, I mean, that's just the way it is. So let's get to Buffalo and the Colts. Buffalo beats the Colts 30-13. Josh Allen had 2 interceptions. Remember I told you, James, this morning, Josh Allen has problems throwing interceptions. But he ended up running for a touchdown. You know, and let me see here. Who's their running back again? Allen running for a TD.
James Cook.
He had a pretty good game. Buffalo had 4 sacks. Flacco had 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Maybe Flacco's magic is gone a little bit here, guys. I mean, this has been the second, third week in a row he's not played a good game.
I'm so mad because he looked like that was a really close game for a long time. And I actually thought, you know, this would be a good game. You know, same old Josh Allen, of course. But Josh making critical mistakes like that against a more formidable quarterback that's still in the league would have cost them the game.
Possible. I think we've talked about it, James. Buffalo, very underrated defense.
I think the defense is tremendously underrated. Buffalo is a good team. Look, they didn't have Keon Coleman. They didn't have Amari Cooper. He still made it work. He's been protecting the ball all season. This is really like uncharacteristic in this season for him. Right. So he threw a couple of interceptions, but the difference is they were still able to find a way to get the win. And not only did they get the win, the defense, he has a really good defense that helped to get the ball back. And they won 30-20. That last score, it was really more dominant than that. It was really 30-13. They scored a touchdown at the end, you know, when they let up. So it was. I don't think this is a issue for them. I don't see them having a problem. I think the Bills at 8-2 are still one of the best teams in the NFL altogether. So,
well, the only one with a better record than in the AFC right now is the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So I mean, I don't think any team has one loss. So I mean, they're right in the thick of things. I'm not sure who they're playing next, but listen. The East belongs to Buffalo. It has last few years. Is going to belong to them again this year, the way they're playing. I mean, we're getting to a point in the season, guys, where there's no turning back. I mean, if you're not winning now and you want to make a run, if you're losing games now, like my stupid Giants, I mean, there's no way in hell that they're going to climb back in this, which I didn't think they would anyway. But they're getting worse. They're worse than they were last year. And that's without Daniel Jones. Their record's worse. So, oh my God.
I mean, you're in the double digits part of the season now, week 10. Yeah. So it's definitely like you're either, you know, there or you're not, and there's no turning back. Have you guys had your bye week yet?
I think hopefully it's this week. I think it's this week. I like to see DeVito get out there. I don't like Brock. I don't like him. I like to see DeVito get out there and see. I'd sit Jones. He's done. He's done. We ain't gonna do nothing. Sit him down. I mean, yeah, just let somebody else have a crack at it. Maybe to give him a little spark or something. I'm pretty upset here. Pittsburgh and Washington, a game of inches. I mean, listen, wow, what a game! Best game of the week here. I mean, 4th and 11, stopped like a foot short. I mean, that was a heck of a game. I mean, anybody could have won that game. They were both scoring. You know, there's something about Russell Wilson. I don't know if you guys know, but when I played quarterback, right, we had trash cans set in the end zones, and we would loft them up, and we would try to, of course, get the football, drop it in. And Russell Wilson is the best I've ever seen at this. I think he does this like every day. I mean, he throws that ball and it just drops right into the receiver's hands. I've never seen a quarterback do it that well, maybe since Y.A. Tittle. I'll bring it back all back to 1958. But I have never seen a quarterback play that well, throwing that ball, just dropping them in. Wilson has a heck of a game. I mean, they went back and forth. Great game. I don't think Washington has anything to be ashamed of losing to Pittsburgh like that.
And Mac, this is what I'm going to say. This is the difference between what Justin Field brings and what Russell Wilson brings. And I'm pretty sure they saw this in practice. And people were all up in arms about why are you going to take Justin Fields and sit him on the bench? They were supposed to start Russell Wilson in the beginning. They know what they have in Russell Wilson. I knew when he came there what he was going to be. I just knew. I think his stop in Denver was just not an anomaly. It just wasn't good. I knew what the guy was when he was in Seattle. Look, things change. You start losing players. That organization is perfect for Russell Wilson and what he can do. And if I'm in the AFC, I'm going to be scared of them in the playoffs because I think they're built for playoffs. In the cold winter, that defense is good, really good to stop the run, stop the pass, and they run the ball. They run the ball out, and you got a quarterback that can get the receivers the ball in those situations, those touch passes, that 32-yarder to Mike Williams, the George Pickens pass. It's just they look good. They look really good. I like where they are. Barring no injuries to Russell Wilson, I think they're gonna make some noise later on in the playoffs.
Sonia,
That game came down to a critical
the problem with Russell Wilson wasn't physically when he was with the Broncos. It was mentally. It was the guy thought he owned the whole damn team. And when Sean Payton gets there, he said, "Wait a minute, you don't get your own office here." I think this is a wake-up call to Russell. Denver said, "Hey, see you later. We'll take your bags and your money and get the hell out of here." So I think him being sent to Pittsburgh jump-started his career again. It had nothing to do with physical about him. He played okay. He just had a problem with his attitude.
Yeah, we always talk about personal versus professional, and I never really looked at it that way. I was so down on Sean Payton because I just don't like the guy because he's a former Saints coach. And then he came off real nasty. Most of the people thought, he was just really nasty to Russ, but maybe it was just, hey, checks and balances. I'm the coach, you're not, you're the player. I wish someone would do that with Aaron Rodgers. They seem not to be able to do that. But anyway, clearly it wasn't a physical issue with Russ. I mean, he was winning games even when they benched him. They wanted him to sign some contract. He didn't want to do it. So they're like, okay, you don't want to play by the rules, find somewhere else to play. I was really shocked when they benched Justin Fields because I was like, what is this? Just to show, that Russ still has it. But then here we are. Today's game, I don't think could have been closed out by Justin Fields. Not only that was a costly penalty by that rookie from Washington that jumped off sides or neutral zone or whatever it was he did that cost him that game in a very critical time. I mean, a 1-point game, you just gave them victory formation with their timeouts and everything. And so that guy was devastated. But I will say that Russell is the quarterback of that team. I mean, he didn't show any age whatsoever. He showed poise. He looked like the Russell that we saw with Pete Carroll all those years ago when they were championship caliber. I guess that's why Mike Tomlin was wearing shades today because the sun was so bright. Because I was just like, dude, the sun is not even out. I mean, maybe he didn't want anybody to read his eyes. Who knows? But he had on some super dark sunglasses today. And the Steelers are now 7-2. Jaden Daniels, nothing to be ashamed of, like you said, 7-3, but right on the heels of the Philadelphia Eagles. And who would have thought Dan Quinn and a rookie quarterback would come in and turn that franchise completely around?
Yeah, listen, that game could have went either way. I mean, there's no moral victories in football, but this is their first year together. And in being your first year together, if you make the playoffs and say you win a game in the playoffs, the Washington fans got to be happy as hell, right? I mean, I would be like, wow, we got ourselves something going on here. So,
just a plug on that, Mac. I know you're going to think I'm a bandwagoner, but this is a known fact. By my family and friends. Before we got the Panthers, I was a Redskins fan. So just letting you know that's out there too, okay? I'm just letting you know.
Of course you were.
You must have luggage with every city on it, stamped on it. You seem like you got everywhere, every team.
I'm a big traveler, but I only know as a kid I was a Redskins fan. But one fan I haven't been, even though I've lived in this city for the majority of my life, is an Atlanta Falcon fan. Okay. Now,
okay.
There you go.
All right. There you go. All right. So Sonia, when playoffs comes around, when a couple teams get knocked out, Sonia still got somebody to root for. I get it. I get it. So I get that. You're welcome. So, New Orleans, 20-17. Derek Carr throws for a couple touchdowns. Wide receiver Scantling. Is he a rookie?
No, he played for he's a champion. He played for Kansas City. Marquez Valdez Scantling. Yeah. So
I never heard of him.
Right. They had to go get him somebody else. Even the bench for Kansas City is good. And it looks like Jay Train then went down there and recruited some folks from the Kansas City bench because they're winners too.
Yeah,
just 1 or 2 wins.
We never heard of him, but he got a ring because he was passing out water.
I never heard of him. I'm not kidding. I've never heard of the guy.
No, I mean he played for Green Bay too. He played with Rodgers. This is a Rodgers receiver. So yeah. Yes.
Cousins, 306 yards, 1 interception. I mean, you can throw all the yards you want. You got to get the ball in the end zone, right? I mean, look at Atlanta is still, and I've said this all year about them. They might be the best team in the South, but they're not going to do anything in the playoffs.
They sure are not. Thank you, Mac. They sure are not.
Well, we know what Cousins' record is. My prediction was just that they're going to win the South. That was it. When they get to the playoffs, it's different.
They might not even win the South.
So you don't believe that they're going to win the South, Sonia?
I think Tampa Bay is right.
So who's going to win the South?
I think Tampa Bay will.
I mean, Tampa Bay is a good team.
They just lost.
Yeah,
they can lose. So did the Falcons.
No, we'll see. Let's see. Kansas City.
It's a divisional thing, and
yeah. Well, Rizzy, the interim coach, right? It's Rizzy or Dizzy. What's his name?
Dizzy
Dean. What's his name?
Darren Rizzy. He was a special team coach. Yes.
All right. So Darren Rizzy gets his first win as an interim. Watch, he's going to have he'll win 3 games, and you guys are going to hire him for next year. You watch.
Yep.
That's terrible. And this is the thing about the history of any type of interim coach that comes in. They get this excitement. Everybody's rah-rah, and they forget what kind of team they were before the interim coach comes in. And then, of course, you go to next year, and everybody knows what you are, and then, okay, they're just poo. They're just not any good. And so I wouldn't dare keep this guy as the head coach. You definitely want to make sure that you try to have good morale. But for me, this stinks because if you're in the 2-win, 3-win phase, right now, you're at the top 5 pick. If you start winning some games, it's going to take you down. I'm not saying that you shouldn't win. I'm just saying, look, all I'm saying is that I would like to reach. If we're at this point right now, it stinks to go in limbo and to get a terrible draft pick and not getting something higher because you're trying to rebuild. At this point, the Saints are in rebuild mode. That's just where they are. I'm not delusional about my team. We are in rebuild mode. That's just where it needs to be. And when you hope that you would get somebody at a higher caliber versus like somewhere in the low 20s or somewhere like that.
Okay, I just have a comment. I just pulled up the NFC South standings, and as it stands, if the Buccaneers lose one more game and the Panthers win, we could definitely move up to number 2. So go ahead, keep on losing, Bucks. Keep on losing. So I'm going to correct my statement. Who's going to win the South? My Panthers are going to win the South.
All right, there we go. Sonia is making a wild hot take pick.
I already told you that's what she was thinking. That's what she was.
What a hater!
Oh my gosh!
I can't believe he's showing himself like he's never done it to me before, Matt.
Who are you playing next? Who y'all playing next?
I don't know.
Who y'all playing next?
I don't know.
But
Matt, continue on.
The point is,
you know.
The point is the Saints are rebuilding right now, James. They have a lot of old veterans that are hurt right now. They're not rebuilding.
Absolutely.
They're trying to keep it together.
Oh my God, we're playing the Chiefs.
If the Saints finish in the bottom, 4, 5, 6 wins, they're going to get a good draft pick. It's not like they're not going to get a good draft pick. They may not get number 1, but they're going to be in their first round. They're going to get a high first round draft pick. So I wouldn't worry about that. It depends on what they want and what they need.
So take that draft pick.
We'll see. The damn Chiefs, they win on a field goal block.
They made me
Oh my God! And Sonia, we talked about this before you came on. A lot of the underdogs, they kept it within the points or won. I mean, the Broncos had these guys. Bo Nix threw for more touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes today, and their defense played off the hook. It's just they blocked the kick and win the game. It's incredible,
man. We play Kansas next week. I just realized that Kansas City, and the game is in Charlotte though, so who knows?
yeah.
I might come on here next week bragging again, honey. If we beat the Chiefs, y'all may as well take me off the show for real. Like Mac, you probably just gonna be calling me just as a friend. You're gonna be like, I'm sorry, the network, because Jay said he can't work with you anymore. I'll be like, oh, for real? I knew he was gonna be a hater.
Hey, listen. The Panthers.
I wouldn't dare say that.
The Kansas City Chiefs may take the Panthers lightly. Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we're the laughing stock. We're not anymore. There's like 8 teams that are below us today. So
like, stop encouraging her, Max. Stop encouraging her. Anyway, let's see. We got the what do we got next? We got the San Francisco 49ers barely getting by Tampa Bay 23-20. Purdy with 253 yards, a couple touchdowns. McCaffrey does play. He doesn't have a big game, but he has an effective game. He caught the ball for 68 yards. Baker has a touchdown. Running back Bucky Irvin also has a touchdown. It was another good game. I mean, I'm looking at the replays for it right now, and it was a tight game all the way around. So Tampa Bay again playing hard as they can without all their players. So.
Godwin and Evans.
Yeah. So,
I knew that'd probably be a big game. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I was really wanting this. I'm gonna watch the replays later. With so many games on earlier,
Yeah,
it was just to keep up. Like I had 2 TVs going, and still felt like I'm checking a device to see what the scores were on other games. But welcome back, Christian McCaffrey. I still think that Baker Mayfield could hold his own even without those guys, just with a different, playing a different team, it would have been a different outcome. So, that's crazy.
Yeah, looks like Cade Otton is really stepped up as a tight end for them. So, and they're finding ways to implement the running backs in the passing game. They're both doing really well. And they have a 3-headed monster there in their running backs with Bucky Irvin and Rashad White, and another kid is number 44. I can't think of his name, but man, they're really, in spite of the hurting at their wide receiver core with the 2 main guys with Evans and Godwin out. They're still doing it. I mean, that again, like you said, this game was very close, 23-20. They could have easily won this game as well. Because it took, what's his name? Brock Purdy had 353 yards passing and 2 TDs. It took all that to right. Wow.
Yeah, and
tomorrow.
The 49ers are fighting on the sidelines. Deebo Samuels was fighting with his own teammates over there.
That's what he do. The South Carolina boys.
Well, his name's Debo for a reason.
He needs to be calming down. He just got in the hospital. We're having pneumonia. He'll be over there getting oxygen.
So the 49ers are now 5-4, and they're very much in the hunt there for the Patriots. Who knew? 19-3 over the Chicago Bears.
Unbelievable.
Listen.
Caleb's a bust. You said it last year.
I did, and I think he's going to be a bust. And I also said because of the way Chicago handles their quarterbacks there, they don't know how to develop them. The coach gets fired, and the GM gets fired, and the GM gets hired after the coach gets hired, and they draft somebody, and then they get rid of them, and then they fire the GM, and the coach gets hired. It's ridiculous what they're doing over there. Caleb Williams only threw 120 yards. The Patriots sacked him 9 times. That offensive line is terrible for the Bears. Listen. The rookie there, Drake May, he throws for 184 yards, a touchdown reception. Rondé Stevenson with a big game. The Bears are falling fast. They're falling fast.
Yeah, 3 games in a row. That's really hard. And I think everything starts from like momentum. I mean, if you do something as boneheaded as what Tyreek Stevenson did against the Washington game. It all started from there. Because again, you win that game if you knock the ball down, and they lost the game up to a Hail Mary. I mean, a win is a win, a loss is a loss. But at the same time, momentum just goes down, and you can see all the arguing and bickering on the sideline. There's more to it than meets the eye than what we see on from the spectators' view. There has to be a lot going on, and there has to be a lot of toxicity going on in that locker room, because it's just no way that you have this much talent and the coaching that can't manage this and can get them at least a string of wins, and you lose to this is demoralizing because you're losing to the Patriots. Patriots are really not really good at all, and they beat you. They beat you, and so and now you got to lose 3 in a row, and I don't think it shifts and goes uphill from here. I think it continues to go downhill, and somebody's going to lose their job, which is the coach.
Yeah, I agree. Got the Packers next week, so it doesn't get any easier for them. And then they got the Vikings after that, so they're playing in their league, and then they got the Lions. It's not going to get easier for the Bears, and the Bears look like they might be one of the exciting teams this year, as they were at 500 or 3-3 or something like that, or 3-4 or something. They were right around 500.
Well, now in the words of the late great Denny Green, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah,
Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my!
That's right. And the Vikings beat Jacksonville, a terrible game, 12-7. I mean, Sam Darnold threw for 3 interceptions.
And still win the game.
Aaron Jones had 88 yards. Mac Jones 111 yards and 2 interceptions. So he did really good replacing Trevor Lawrence there. So there you go.
That was one of the worst games. You talked about the best game with the Commanders versus Pittsburgh. This is probably arguably the worst game to watch. I watched some highlights here and there when it was playing on Red Zone. I was like, man, what do they do? What Sam Darnold? You are truly regressing over there, man. What is going on? And I see Justin Jefferson's face, not happy, and like, wow, because I mean, you got a quarterback that really can't get him the ball like he wants, and they still win the game with 4 field goals. So that's really bad on the side of Peterson, Doug Peterson. That can't be good for you, man. I'll be interested to see Monday what happens this Monday coming up. And what is this with Sonia?
Sonia's sending signals to us.
I was just drinking out of my championship mug. My apologies.
Okay. All right. There you go. Your championship mug. So, I mean, Sonia, everybody says Sam Darnold, and especially my co-host Jack, he's got a new life. He's got a new thing. He's got, now he went over to play behind Brock Purdy. Where the hell did he go? San Fran? So he went there, and, he's learned a lot. And I'm like, Jack, he is what he is. Sam Darnold has been in the league for like 7 years. He's not a starting quarterback. Jack likes him because he's a former Jet. And I think he's hoping that something happens for the guy. But, I mean, Sam Darnold, wow.
I am all too familiar. I am all too familiar with that, Mac, about hanging on to players because they have ties to your team when they originally were drafted or at some point they played. And it always leads to disappointment either one or two ways. Either they've gone somewhere and flourished and they didn't do that for your team, or they go somewhere and they tank out and you're still hoping that they just get their career together. But I guess that's why Jack wasn't on this morning. What's going on with Jack?
It was his 93rd birthday.
Oh my God. Yes. Now Jack will be on with me this week though. Actually, not this week, on the 20th. So I'll make sure I have some 93 balloons and stuff. That's awesome.
There you go. Make sure you get 93 balloons. That would be awesome. I would love that.
93. A Tiger doesn't change, though, in regards to Sam Darnold. That's just who you said is who he is. Very,
very, very few. There's been a couple quarterbacks that went to teams late in their career and they won Super Bowls and stuff. But that is 2 in the history of the NFL that happened to. It just doesn't happen. So tonight we got Detroit at Houston, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. CJ versus Mr. Gore. Jared.
Right.
That's gonna be a good game. But I
You think
don't
that
know. CJ been looking kind of iffy lately.
he has been? Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, the Lions are like a team on a mission this year. They got that one loss. Houston's 6-3. He's getting his favorite receiver back right tonight, James. He's playing tonight. So
Yeah, Nico Collins, I believe he should be playing.
all right, so Nico's
Right.
back. So we'll see what happens. I mean, listen, they're playing in Houston, so Detroit had to travel down there. I just don't like to bet against Detroit. They're like the Kansas City Chiefs to me right now. I like Detroit.
Right.
They run the ball and pass the ball. Their defense is good. James loves to say, "Well, they get pressure on Jordan Goff's face. Jared Goff's face, he crumbles." That's every quarterback, James. Just to let
This
you
is
know.
another Tiger, though. This is another
You know
Tiger.
what? You know what?
If there's an Achilles, no, look, hold on, stop. First of all, I give credit where credit is due. I think the Lions are one of the best teams in the NFL. I thought they were going to get to the Super Bowl last year. It did not happen. But everybody has strengths and everyone has weaknesses. That's Jared Goff's weakness. That's why they let him go in LA. That was one of the biggest things. He's still good. He's still a great quarterback.
I think you're rewriting history there a little bit, James.
Right. That's not how
They went to the Super Bowl.
They did, and they did not win.
No, they lost to the Patriots, as a lot of teams did, right? I mean, most of the teams lost to the Patriots. So I think you're kind of rewriting history here a little bit.
No, why did you let him go, though?
Jared, because they wanted Matt Stafford.
Right.
But you don't let somebody go if you think that's your guy. You don't let him, regardless of who you're going to bring in.
Well, compare their records to Detroit and the Rams right now, the last couple of years.
Right.
Who got the better?
They got the perfect recipe. They got it right.
That's what matters. Who got the Super Bowl win?
Yeah, okay, they got a Super Bowl win. How long ago was that? 5 years
Right.
ago?
How long ago was that? Right. Everybody want to talk about their rings they got 20 and 30 years ago.
Yeah. I mean,
Donated rings. And one ring, let me be clear. Mac, hold on, Mac. One ring is not a true ring. Let me be clear. It's when you get that second one, then you can say I've really worked. Because the first one is a donation if the whole league is garbage.
Okay.
Let me tell you this, Max. She's only saying this because she said they were champions, the Panthers now. And I said you got to get a ring first before you're a champion. Right. And they don't have that. They're 0-2 in the Super Bowl.
Because we didn't get donation. We didn't get donation. We worked for our loss. You guys were handed that.
No, we won. No,
you know why?
You're a national audience making excuses.
Got a ring right in their rebuild the city mode. It was donated because we got to do something good for the Saints. The whole league.
Oh my goodness. Don't embarrass yourself saying something like that on national media.
So James again likes to say Jared Goff's weakness, and I'm going to bring this up again. Is
get him, Matt. Get him.
When the rush is in their face, and most quarterbacks, when the rush is in their face, they have a problem. So and you know, I mean that's what happens, right? So I'm gonna take a quick look here at Jared Goff's right now, 3-time Pro Bowl, 2017, 2018, 2022. He has right now passing attempts 4,318. He's got a 65.2 completions, has 199 TDs to 86 interceptions, and he's passed for 32,269 yards. And I think he's been in the league a little less than Matt Stafford has. So, I mean, this guy, if he wins a Super Bowl or two with the Detroit Lions, this may be a Hall of Famer we're talking about. That you know, you're saying that, and Matt Stafford, I don't know, maybe he will be, maybe he won't be.
I didn't say he wasn't good. I didn't say he wasn't good. I just said I know what the weaknesses are, and I understand who he's about to play. He's about to play a defense that's number 2 in the league, that has the ability to rush up the middle and get to the quarterback and give him some pressure. That will help them win the game. This is my upset special. I have the Texans winning this game at home.
And there was also,
huh?
Did you put that on the paper like for one of your picks?
No. I just, as what we're picking when we're discussing.
Of course, you didn't have the guts to put it down as a real bet because you knew you would lose that one when Mac and Linda tally up the winners for this week.
I don't think a lot of people have a good. I don't think a lot of people are going to. After this is one of the worst weeks for betting I've seen in a while, man. I don't think a lot of people are going to stop here. So and there was also a lot of money back in 2016 that Goff got. $27.9 million in guaranteed plus an $18.6 million bonus. And I don't know if Stafford was making that kind of money back then either. So, there's a lot more to think about than just, that Stafford won a Super Bowl and Goff didn't. So, that's all I'm saying, James. That's all I'm saying. So, Miami against the Rams tomorrow. Talk about Stafford. Stafford has a chance right now to get the Rams continue winning, keep them near the top, right? I mean, Miami, they're okay. The Rams probably should beat them. They're playing in LA, and Miami is, like I said, they're okay. They're not that great. I don't think they're gonna do too much this year, but who knows?
I read something about them talking about Tua again, like they may be bringing someone else in to play.
Really? I think Tyreek Hill also may be having some issues as well physically.
Yeah, I read that earlier. Let me look up again.
Yeah.
It was something that I was passing.
There's something with the Tyreek Hill's wrist, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. I think
so they said according to their local sports writer that they're advising them to bench Tua after the latest team downturn, and that was a day ago.
Oh, they've been advising them to not let Tua play all year.
But fantasy football is saying Tua is going to probably have a blowout game tonight. He's a sleeper. I mean, tomorrow night.
I don't know. I mean, I got the Rams right now are 4-4. Pretty even points for, points against to playing 500 ball. Miami is I think they've only got 2 games they won. Right?
Yes, they're 2-6.
2-6 right now. They've lost 3 in a row, and 2 of those with Tua. So I don't know. I think it all depends how well they protect Tua, right? If they can protect Tua, Miami has a shot. If they can't, I think the Rams will win this. And I think Cooper Kupp might be out. I'm not sure.
Ooh, that's
possibly. I think he said he's hurt.
Yeah. So that might that might slow them down a little bit. Some quick news here. We talked about it earlier this morning. For those that you weren't here, of course, Christian McCaffrey did play, and he played decent for being back in his first game. Let's see. Caleb Williams and Drake May. We saw how that turned out. Drake May, both on the field together, had a better game. And of course, Saquon Barkley was drug tested after that Blackwood's hurdle. Pack says they do that to everybody. I don't believe that.
Wow. They do what?
They drug test everybody. He said they drug test Jamar Chase after he caught, for 163 yards. I don't believe that.
I mean, if there's something they think is suspicious, they'll do it, but it's not everybody.
No.
It's just like you said, the man's squatting 700 pounds. I mean, what do you expect him to do? Jump? It's just like a 2-inch vertical. Of course, he's going to be jumping through the roof if he's squatting 200 pounds.
No doubt. We said the hit list today was Eberflus, Peterson, and Antonio Pierce. I don't know if the Raiders. I don't think they're playing this week. I don't think they played this week. I think they got their bye. Eberflus, you still think that he's on the hit list, the hot list? How much longer are they going to let him finish the season now? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Now he definitely on the list now. 3 in a row. I mean, and you got your rookie quarterback that's only on his second rookie year. It's going to be the coach. You know what I'm saying? Because he's supposed to be there to develop this player, and y'all tank it every game.
Right. Peterson. I mean, why would you put Mac Jones in? Unless Trevor, I didn't read nothing when Trevor Lawrence was hurt.
I think it's his shoulder. It's his shoulder.
Did his shoulder hurt?
But non-throwing shoulder. He hurt his non-throwing shoulder.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's a bad call.
Yeah.
You give him a shot of cortisone and wrap it up and keep it moving. Just
That's
don't fall.
right. That's right. I mean, they took Aaron Rodgers to the tent, and I know they gave him some of those mushrooms and stuff to keep him going. Before he went back. Antonio Pierce again. I think he's one. I think Brian DeBalls, he has just gotten hotter. I think I hope he's fired at the end of the year. I don't care. Maybe he is a great coach. He's not the coach for my team, that's for sure. And
didn't he just get there, Mac?
no, this third year. Just third
No,
year.
it's been like 3 years, right?
Fast. I'm so used to being McAdoo. It reminds me of him a little bit.
Well, he got there. He was coach of the year his first year. The Giants went to the playoffs and they beat the Vikings. Then the second year they went to 6-11, and this year they'll be lucky to win 4 games this year. I mean, they're just going down. It's time to make a move. It really is. So I don't know, but anyway,
somebody put a meme up that had fired on it. Then they put just kidding, like they did like they did for Coach Allen. It was like right after the game they put fired. Then they put just kidding for your coach. So who knows?
yeah. Well, if I was a Panthers coach, I'd be looking over my shoulder all the time. I really would.
No, I'm saying they put the fired for your coach, Mac, for today.
Oh, did they? Good.
Yeah, because like we got the Saints coach fired last week.
Yes. Oh, it could be. It could be. I mean,
You didn't. You were the tip of the iceberg. You didn't get it fired.
Don't try to play us no more either. We got some more for you.
Oh my goodness! I'm gonna give you another 47 and 10. But that's what you're gonna get.
Y'all ain't got 40 points the rest of the season, and y'all.
You two are funny.
You have 40 points total all season.
You don't need one to win.
That's that. You just got to win the game, Sonia. That's all you got to do. Don't matter. You see Minnesota.
Oh my goodness!
So I'm an encourager.
Thank you, man. I just love you.
You are not an encourager. You are an enabler.
I knew it.
He's enabling. Oh my goodness!
Him and Linda are the best. I knew they love me. They're the best.
They are the best.
They are.
Except when it comes to you.
You are
they
as a grouch, and you guys won against the Falcons. You should just take that win and enjoy the week.
Man, please. I know what we are. I take the win, but I already know what it is. We are not winning. I saw the season where we at. Who got to play? We're not going to get no playoffs. I'm not delusional about that. I know what we are.
And I'm not either. And you guys better not try to come around us no more either by accident. We got some more for you.
Thank you, Sonia, for coming in. Thanks for everybody joining us. Like to love and share later on. James, great job as always. I will see you tomorrow on the Mac and Jack Sports Show. I will, and remember, get the 93 balloons for him. He'll appreciate that, Sonia. Okay?
I will. I'll be watching in the morning live because I don't have class tomorrow. So,
all right, cool, excellent.
Veterans Day.
Yes, and I am a veteran. I know. Are you a veteran?
I am too.
Oh, so
thank you both for your service.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Enjoy the night football game.